Artificial intelligence is popping up everywhere. What are you, the business leader, going to do to handle artificial intelligence? I'm Dr. Bill Connerly. I connect the dots between the economy and business. I've been studying how artificial intelligence would impact different parts of the economy, and I have gathered best practices for business strategy right now. I have found 5 steps to business strategy that I think every business should employ starting right now, but it's early days. We're going to learn a lot more. We're going to want to revise our strategic steps as time goes on. I think about the Industrial Revolution. Remember, the steam engine was perfected to pump water out of English coal mines. But once we had the steam engine, somebody said we could put it on a rail car, and somebody else said we could stick it in a ship, we could use it to power a factory, and steam went everywhere. It even went into espresso machines, a great advance. Artificial intelligence is going to be the same way. This is early days, but I believe there are 5 steps that we should be thinking about. I'm going to go through each of these. Let's begin with protecting your information. A person using a chatbot like ChatGPT will ask the AI a question or give it a command, and sometimes the user will input sensitive information. It could be something like, hey, we've got a customer who has these characteristics. What's the best way to market additional services to the customer? Or, we're planning a new product. How should we sell it? Confidential information going into the AI can typically be used by the AI company. That's in their terms of service. This is a fixable problem, though, and fairly easily. Most of the chatbots I have seen have settings that allow you to protect the information, so it goes into the prompt, but it does not stay with the AI company. This is an easy fix, and I don't think the risk is too great, but I always believe in let's do the easy things that protect our information. The next thing we want to do is identify hallucinations. Hallucination is the word that the computer scientists use for making stuff up. And the large language models that are part of the AI boom make stuff up. It's not always a problem. Let's say that you said, hey, what are Bill Connerly's best articles about business strategy in a changing economy? The AI might give you 5 articles, and one of those has probably been made up. The title, the summary has been made up. It's something I never wrote. It was never published. Nobody else wrote it. The AI just makes stuff up. So the important thing is not that, hey, it makes stuff up. The important thing is protecting yourself from decisions based on made-up data. So getting an incorrect description of an article I never wrote, that's not a big deal. But suppose you ask the AI to go through your receivables recently and determine which one should be written off, and you write off $1.5 million that are actually going to be paid. That's a pretty big mistake. So part of the early stage use of AI has to be company-wide standards that any decisions made based on AI results are reviewed by a human if those decisions are critical. If they're minor, don't worry about it. If it's major, like money going in, money going out, or how you deal with a particular customer, a human being needs to review those conditions. The next step in the early strategy is number 3, experiment with chatbots. And here are the 3 major chatbots that you can use for free, and this is how you access them. I would begin by asking the chatbot a question that's on a subject you're familiar with. So if you are a production manager at a paper mill, you might ask, hey, what are the major operational risks of a paper mill? I don't know what they are, but I bet the chatbot does. Or ask about a hobby. I asked it for tips on sailing a small boat upwind at maximum speed. Use your knowledge to evaluate how well the chatbot is doing as a first step, and then play around with something like writing a memo. You might tell the chatbot, I want a memo in a casual business voice. I want to explain 3 points, and I want to conclude with a little bit of humor. See what it does. You may find that you like it, especially if you occasionally have to write, but you don't do it enough to be really good at it. And the next step is for your people, your staff members, to look for specific apps. One of the great things about these large language models is that they can be put inside an application. So let me give you a couple of ideas. Somebody in your company receives a voicemail from one of your suppliers, and the supplier says, hey, I sent you an invoice October 13th, just checking when you anticipate paying that. Well, right now it's human labor to respond to that request, but there are systems out there that can listen to that voicemail, transcribe it into text, figure out what the person wants, verify that the person is in fact authorized to receive the information, see if you've got the invoice in your system, see when it's scheduled to be paid, and then communicate that to the supplier, either by voicemail, email, text message. It can do that all without any human intervention. That's pretty cool. Or an electrical contractor asked to bid on a project, gets the blueprints delivered electronically. There is going to be an app, there may be one already, where the person puts the blueprints into an app that uses the large language models and comes out with a bill of materials and an estimate of how many hours it will take. And then writing up a bid is pretty easy. So there are many specialized apps that have been developed. Many, many more are going to be developed. One of the sharp guys on AI, Tobias Zwingman, suggests look for your pain points. Where are you frustrated with either how much work it is taking to get something done, or how poor the actual results of current work are, and go looking for specific apps. So how do you or one of your staff members find a specific app? First of all, I would suggest being in touch with what's going on either in the industry or in that business function. And when I say industry, it could be electrical contracting, or function, it could be accounts payable. And look at the trade journals, go to the conferences, check in on the podcasts, the video series involved in that particular process, and you'll probably hear about it. Be maybe a little bit more willing to take salesperson's calls, and you may even find some gems in your junk mail folder. But these specific apps will be the huge gain from artificial intelligence. Find the ones that are most valuable for you. The final step in the new strategy is to expect some upfront time cost. The dollar cost of using AI is going to start out pretty low. It'll be zero or fairly minimal dollars, but time is needed. Time for you, the business leader, as well as time for your staff members to experiment with the system, to go searching for apps, to test them out, to see if they can be made to work, come up to speed, and rejecting those that don't work. This is going to take some time, but it's like a capital investment. Resources are expended now in order to get big gains in the future. And I believe that there will be huge gains from artificial intelligence in every kind of business. AI has a lot of promise, but it's early days. Start with this strategy, but be ready to change, be ready to adapt, be ready to take what I call the flexible stance in an uncertain environment. I'm Dr. Bill Connerly. I connect the dots between the economy and business. I also put out a monthly newsletter in graphical format, a 60-second update on what you need to know about the economy, and I'd be happy for you to subscribe to it. Just use this QR code for a free subscription. Thanks for watching.